Oh, this one's lower. This one's lower. This one's higher. Well, it's not a huge, I think there's a massive difference. Okay, need some water. Probably better for me, actually. There's the water. Oh, that's got water. Whoa, whoa! Seriously? Everything wants to fall over on me. I'm gonna have to leave these powders in front of me now. I'll have to put Tink somewhere else. So these are browns. I'll put those there. That's blush. These are blues. And then we'll put these here. Okay. Alright. This is garbage. Garbage. I have to get rid of this one. Ooh, that's all powder. Wow, it's gonna pour it in there. Alright. I forgot to clean those. So, it's all bubbly. Alright, this has to go away. Will it fit in here? I think it might. Yep. Okay, let's put those in there. These colors didn't make it. Alright. Is this loose? Alright. Sorry, Pickle. I had to turn you around. You're just looking a little too real for me there. You're starting to look a little too real for me, buddy. Alright, we have to... Oh, I can't stop sweating. Like 100 degrees outside before humidity. This thing about wearing glasses. Okay. I need a new mat. Another one is just loaded in powders. Okay, that's a powder brush. That's not. That's a primer brush. Just left out. Powder brush goes in there. Is this for powders? This is for mapping. Move that back into here. All right. Oh, we gotta see all those powders. What I'm looking for. Okay, these are heat set brushes. I gotta clean that I forgot to clean. What I'm looking for. Alright, I don't know where this lid goes to. I'm gonna order some more liner brushes next month. Everything's sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Okay, I need my... This cute bracelet Abby made me. It says Precious Little Lambs. And it has my colors on it. And then she put my name on the back. Isn't that cute? So pretty. Okay. So I'm going to share this with my peeps. Get some gloves on. Oh, do these have powders on them? Yeah, I'll throw those out. This is a new glove, I know that for sure. And then I'll just grab another new glove. Hey there, buddy. Okay. Oh, I forgot to press this. I'm doing his legs. Baking the other side of his legs. I was so busy working on him last night that I didn't want to get up and bake because the powders are very messy. And you have to be very careful that you don't transfer them to other things. So I didn't want to get them on, on the kits. So I thought it was just best that I just finished the baking today. So I got it down to, besides his legs who are on their last turn, there's Tank Slims. Those are going next. And then Ellie's head. Then I'll be all caught up. But I never write pickle down because I'm always baking him. So, all right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to seal these powders. And then I'm going to let the sealers sit till tonight. And then I'm going to be adding paint. I'm going to do his shading with paint. It's not working out with powders because of the texture. And it's such a broad area here that it's just not working out very well with the powders. So I'll do that with paint. Yeah. So that's what's going to happen. uh, all right. So next step is sealer. Can I have my tea yet? Let's see. It's got caffeine in it. Green tea. So before I continue on, since this is going to be posted on YouTube, I know why my fatigue has been really bad than usual. Is my doctor said that my vitamin D is extremely low, so he's putting me on a 5,000 IUIs for 8 weeks. And then after that, I'll just go to the regular one that you can buy over the counter. And so, yeah, I'm getting that figured out. He also wants me, I'm not diabetic, but I'm pre-diabetic. I've been pre-diabetic for many years. My numbers have gone down since I quit Pepsi last year. But he wants me to see a diabetic clinic who can help me work on dietary and stuff like that. Like, I don't eat like bad foods, like fried foods and all that kind of, I don't eat stuff like that, but I do like bakery. I don't eat it daily though. I've cut down on it. But yeah, they're just going to help me and they're going to monitor my levels and stuff like that. So I don't become diabetic. So anyway, that's the goal. And I'll be back to lane swimming in September because they only offer it like at 7 in the morning and 9 o'clock at night in the summertime because the pool's open for family swim. I do have a pool at home, a smaller pool that I can do shallow aquafit in. But I'm just waiting for this rash and hives to go away because apparently they did something to my regular hair dye that I use every 3 months because I broke up into hives and a rash all over my neck. So I'm going to have to change my hair dye. But yeah, I've never had a problem with it. I've been using it for years, but same color. But anyway, yeah. So just got to be working on those things. All right. But just really focusing on work right now. So I've learned a lot this past well, yeah, it's been a year because they started heat set in May. August will be a year that my customer got him. Paid for him because he was originally started out as Caucasian, right? And then the brown that I was using was too thick, so it started to break off in pieces here and there, and he had a lot of issues with his legs because I asked people if we need to flip the limbs over, and they said, well, that's, every artist is different, some do, some don't. And so I didn't, and now and then I would turn him over, so some parts of his leg, the paints weren't sticking to and all that. So it would take more time trying to fix it than it would be just to. So I wound up stripping him and redoing him, but he was still having the same issues with paint sticking. Mostly in these areas here, this area here, down here, and under his neck here. And you wouldn't be able to tell that now because I've gone over him with Pan Pastel powders. So those really come in handy. They're also really good to use. They do a really good job making things look a little more natural. But you can use them for detailing and stuff like that as well. But, you know, this has really brought this all together. Which I knew that it would, but it's always a shock to see the after effect. Still shocks me, you know. I've been using them for well, pan pastels I've been using, I would say, for 4 years. I was using eyeshadow before that, but the eyeshadow was always an air dry, would peel. And that was air dry. So, but I found a solution where I can seal them without without thinners. So the thinners doesn't take it off. So this is, I call this my powdered sealer. And what it is half Ultimate Fusion and half Ultimate Fusion sealer and half distilled water in a bottle, in a spray bottle. So I'm going to shake that up. Okay. Sometimes you might have to add some more powders. But he should be good. I do let them sit overnight. There's a better chance of them sitting overnight that you won't have any issues. So, generally, I would want to keep it in one area, but since I have quite a bit to do on him, I'm just going to hold it. It's just his, hang on a second. Oh, I love the way his lips look, so I just want to protect his lips. I know that kind of looks funny, right? But I don't want to get his lips. There we go. So you basically just go over him like this. The sealer. Now it's okay if you get sealer where you're not using powders. It's not a big deal. And you might have to do more than one round of powders if it takes too much off, which is fine. I've done that even in air dry. But I find that they stick better to the heat sets. It's probably their texture. I find that I have to do more layering with air dry. And I'll just get a brush for this area here. So I can see these edges got a little lighter, so I'll fix those with the darker. You can see where it got a little lighter here, and I'll be able to fix that. It's no big deal. But there's not much blush, much powders on here, so that means it's sticking really well. It brings out the powder color as well when you seal it. I was trying to get his nose a little more yellow, but yeah, the powders are sticking really good. You know, I just have to darken under his eyes a bit more. Unless that changes when it dries. I've actually never seen that before because I mostly use a blush color. So I've actually never seen it do that before, but I would just darken that area, that's all. And it makes it easier when the powders are are there because it's a layer in between the vinyl. And the paint will stick better to it. But you have to seal them first because if you don't, the thinner is going to take it off. So make sure you seal it first. All right. Are we going to add some, a little bit of yellow with paint to his nose here. So he does have powders under here. So I'm going to cover his lips again. So any areas, if they stay light after he dries, I'll just darken those. Because like I said, I'm used to using the blush color. I have also used yellow and blue. But I don't think I've ever used brown. I did on the first time I painted him, but it just made a mess of things. Whoa! That came out thicker. So he has more powder on his neck, so that's gonna take a little more off because I did more layers on his neck because his neck really gave me a hard time taking paint. And I can just use it. There's already sealer on this, so I'm just gonna pounce it in the back since there's already sealer on it. So the paint should stick now. Now that he's got that barrier there between the sealer and powders and stuff. Whatever is making that picky area. And, oh yeah, I gotta do his ears. I almost forgot. I gotta do his ears. I did put a little bit of powder back here just to darken the area so when I'm rooting him it doesn't stick out too much. So once I get his head done, everything I need to do with his head, I'm going to start rooting. Even if you guys see me still working on like his arms and legs, I will be rooting at that time. There's no sense of just having his head sit out when I can start the rooting process. So I can get him home. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I usually do with any kid that I'm rooting. Because I still have to catch his fingers and toes up. Like I am very, very close. So that Burnt Umber by BC made a huge difference in his color. It's just gorgeous. If they're still selling them in Canada, I'm going to be slowly switching over. Like, I love using Ultimate Fusion, you know, Ultimate Fusion. It's hair dry. I love using Irresistible, so I don't have anything against their products. It's just, it's very expensive getting products in the United States. So, because I also have to pay import fees and all that. So, you know, it just adds up. You know what I'm saying? So I did his ears in powders because the way, see, usually she'll either have, no, I need a pouncy brush. Usually she'll have two different classes. So she'll say, okay, like she'll have one for toddler and then she'll have one for African American. Or if she doesn't, sometimes she'll say, okay, well, if you have a baby this age, then do this. So I didn't have time to go through the whole class before I started him, right? And she wasn't saying those things the second through this. So the things that she wanted me to do with him wasn't adding up to his age. So I was even looking at babies last night, 8-month-old African American babies. And they said their ears should be the same color as the pigment of their skin by that age. But she wanted me to mostly do them red. And you see, so that's just not going to, because she was working on a younger baby. But like I said, she usually tells us. So I don't know. I think it's probably better just to go through the class before you start it. But I've never done that before. But I think when you're dealing with separating ears and fingers and stuff, it's probably better. I knew, like, I kind of just had this feeling that it always bothered me to leave his fingers and his ears like that. But I pulled it together. I got his ears fixed with powders. I still have to do the blue and some red in the ears, but overall, they're looking really well. I did them with powders mostly. And it just turned out that the brown that comes with my powders is the same color as his skin. It worked really well with his skin. The only thing, I used some darker brown, as you can see in the shading areas in here. And I'm going to be using a darker brown. I do have to darken this a bit in here. But I'll be using a darker brown for the shading part in paint for his head here. I mean, the yellow powder did okay here, but I like how it's coming out in paint better. And his nose is supposed to be more yellow, but it came out a little pinkish, so I'm going to add yellow paint to that area. In this area as well. Yeah. But overall, you know, that's a massive difference to where he was. Massive. I love his lips because of the lip texture. They just look so real. Now, when I put the sealer on, it's going to look shiny, like how you see it shiny. But when you go over them, that will go down. The shine will go away because I'll be sealing him with thin down liquid thin. And liquid thin is like, it's a stronger barrier, but it makes them nice and matte and soft. So that's what I'm going to do with him when I'm done here. So now I just got to kind of let his, yeah, see, I lost some powders here. A little bit, not, yeah. No, I didn't. Is that hair? It's Polly. I thought I lost. Yeah, I lost a little bit, but not enough. And paint would even work in there. Yeah, a little bit on his neck here. The bottom of the neck here. But, you know, we lose paint here when we turn their heads. You know, that's why I wish their necks were a little longer. Some of the, like one like this guy. Because when we turn them in their body, like to pose them like this, or if you want them to lay their head this way on your chest or something, it rubs this area here. So unfortunately, like, that's why I like their necks to be a little longer. Thankfully our clothes hide that, right? I have a 2 heat sets that, you know, were very loved for a year, and they wound up losing it, and my other guy lost some back here too. And usually it's the fingers and toes that you'll lose color on the most, and you can on the lips if you're using magnet pacifiers. That's why I really recommend the honey bugs that they sell in the Reborn stores, because the magnet's inside the soother. But people like them to have soothers that they sell at the store and stuff, so they magnetize them. But Yeah, so it looks good. I'm really happy with it. So he's gonna sit while these sealers dry, and then I'm gonna use paint tonight to go over here. So the next steps, oh, we'll put your head here and safe over here. Um, I'm just gonna turn him a bit though because he's looking a little too real for me now. When they start to look really real, I don't like their heads towards me. It just freaks me out. I've never gotten used to that. I don't think I ever will. So now that he's really looking lively there, I will add some more veins to him as well because a lot of his veins look like they've been washed out. So I've gotten better at doing the veins too in heat set. Um, so that's good. And I'm gonna screw them up. So, but I always start my veins on top of their head to see where it is in strength. And how it's drying. So if it's too strong, I can just blend it out a little bit more. The reason why I do that is because if you're going to root them, it's going to just cover it up anyway. And if you're going to paint the hair, the painted hair is going to cover most of that up depending on how you're painting it. So, but it's always best to start with the head or the back of the head, just somewhere that's not going to be as visual. But painting veins is more kind of, you got to know what your color is going to be with air dry, because once you put the veins on, it's very hard. Now, if you get the Ultimate Fusion correction marker, that does help a lot. But at least with heat set, all you have to do is blend it. And if you go to look at it after it dries and you're like, oh, that vein's too strong, you can take it off with Isperel alcohol. And it'll take it off without hurting the paint. Okay? All right. So his legs are going to be done soon. I set the alarm for when I have to go in there and start tanks. So I use polyfill now in my thing to protect their fingers. So this is the fun part of polyfill. Is taking it off them. It doesn't affect the paint though when it sticks to them. But see, the issue is when you use towels, it at least imprints in them. So try putting a sheet in there and it's creating air pockets. So I don't recall. Now, this can also happen from temperature shock, but I don't recall seeing it before on him. So I don't think he got that from temperature shock, because I would imagine I would have found it sooner. So it's probably from an air pocket. But I'm going to pay the shipping anyway on him. So that customer, that will be her discount, me paying shipping. Because it's international shipping. It's not, and it costs a lot more money for me. So, in that way, she'll get a discount on it, because I just don't know. Ugh, what a pain, right? But this is the safest approach for me, to protect their fingers and to keep imprints off of them. Because they just flex with the polyfill. But you can see it's not highly noticeable, but like it's nothing severe. But, I do like to do something for my customers if something happens, So it's just a little. But I usually do warn my customers, that these, like, it's very. The only time I replace them is if it's severe damage, because I let them know that McPherson does have a warning on their website about air pockets. But because this has happened to Tank, Primrose, and him, that is obviously something that, that I'm doing. So I never noticed that ever until I started putting the sheets over the towels. And the closest I could get to cotton was 100% cotton, or 50% cotton and 50% bamboo. So the towels are cotton. So I'm wondering if bamboo causes more air pockets. But anyway, it wasn't, their fingers weren't doing that until I started using sheets. I did put a test limb in first and nothing went wrong with her. So I can't think of any other reason why it would be happening all of a sudden now. So anyway, so it has it right here. It'll look like a blister. I don't know if you guys see. I think, yeah, he's got a bigger hand. So you see, it looks like a little blister on his finger. So yeah. Yeah, you got to see it up close. When his arms are away from me, I don't notice it as much, unless his hand's at a certain angle or something like that. But the problem is that if you try to put, if you try and break it or something, you're going to leave a hole in there. And you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? It's better to just leave it. So it's because what you would have to do, you would have to fill it with poly, what do you call it? Not poly, vinyl, what's that called? Vinyl putty. And then you would have to sand it down. And then you're going to, like, basically ruin this finger, right? Like with the paint. So there's no way my customer is going to want to wait for that. So it's better to just keep going. Oh, this hand's catching up faster than this one. This one's probably just grabbing it better. But I did, his last bake was I put primer, more primer on his fingers. So, and I've started doing the red inside of his hand. Yeah, this is the only thing. And if you do use polyfill in your ovens, make sure you always check the top, because sometimes some can get stuck up there because of the fan. So, but it doesn't get hotter than the temperature, so it doesn't usually create issues. It's just good to check it, just for fire safety. Yeah, you more in your hand. But yeah, I love this color on them, I just love it. Okay, we got it. I gotta start, I'm just gonna go start Tank, and I'm just gonna add the colors here. So I know I wanted the next time I worked on him, I wanted to add purple on his fingers, because I'm looking at the colors that were done before, and yeah, that'll bring it closer together, because he's got a bit of a purple hue in here, and red from me lowering the blue, and then he has that really nice hazelnut. I did put it on his, well, it's burnt umber, but it looks like hazelnut. And I have used that on his fingers as well. It's bringing it together, but you'll notice that there's a bit more red and purple in this color than this color. So you have to add that in. So that's what I'm doing on him next. Also, I started his creasing, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. So it's looking pretty good. So as I'm also working on his hands, I'll be working on the creasing because, that way he's not going through separate bakes for that. You can get it all done at the same time. But you do have to wait for the creases to dry because you don't want to smudge the paint while you're working on the hand. So, yeah. So I'm going to do the hand first because I do more than one layer on the fingers. And then for the creasing, just add that layer where it needs it. But overall, yeah, he's looking really good. Quite happy with him, considering what he has put me through. Right? You just can't give up. You got to keep going. And you'll get there. Okay, I'll be right back. Just going to start Tane. She's already in there. Okay. Tink, my window, I only have them halfway open because it's 100 degrees outside before humidity. And it literally feels like there's when you open the oven to pull stuff out? Well, that's what it feels like that's coming into my windows. It's just crazy. It's so hot. And that's at ground level, you guys, because my basement's under the ground. That heat is coming from ground level. It's just insane. Oh. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put this hand over here. So hopefully this is going to help grab the paint. I added some primer here. If not, powders come to the rescue. I think it will, though, because I didn't have issues with his fingers before. I need purple. That's texture. I need a purple wash. This one dark. No, that one's too light. Yeah, because I made a darker purple for him. That's Orchard matte thinner. Purple. That's dark creases, purple texturing. It's possible I did use a purple texturing. Because I don't... That's modeling. Oh, no, it's right here. No, that's the lighter one. Sorry. By looking at the skin tone, yeah, I just don't want to make him too light. Wash, that's a yellow wash. Red Mott, Orchard. I don't think I would have used a modeling on his body, though. That doesn't sound like something I would do. What's this? Oh, here it is. I didn't label it. I didn't label it. Okay. No, no. These are my mixing brushes. Yeah. See, I didn't think I'd use modeling. I was just going to use a lighter purple, but I'd rather use the same. This one's a little darker. But I want to use the same one I used for his body. So I'm going to get this. No, that's too small probably. What's this one? Yeah, that's the teeny one. Yeah, this is the one that's bigger. Alright. So I'm just going to do this part over his finger here. Trying to stay away from the nails because I don't want to darken his nails. Can always just wipe it off later. So after this purple, I'll be adding red. And then a blue. And as you use the different colors, it helps it come together very nicely. And then he'll get the brown color, the burnt umber from BC that I made. So I can keep the skin tone going the same color. Now fingers don't have to be like exact because their fingers are not. I've looked at a lot of babies. But you want it close anyway. You want it to look like they belong to the same hand. So, okay, that's a little bit down there. And he's going to be getting blushing and creasing on his nails. And so he still has other things that are happening to his fingers. That brings it all together. Oh, he's got some on the side of his thumb here. There we go. And I'm going to be adding like a blushing color in his hand. Just a minute here. So where's the blush? This is the blush. It will look like a lot more when I put it on, but when I blend it, it goes down quite a bit. I could add just a tad more thinner in here. Yeah, I'll just add a little bit more thinner, just because. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use, yeah, I'll use this brush for that. So I'm going to be working in the insides of his hand here. It's going to start blushing his hands. That's basically what it's going to do. Yeah, it does look like paint's having a little trouble here. Probably won't now because I put primer on it. So that'll help him quite a bit, actually. It's just a little tricky getting around here because of the way his thumb is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but he's really coming together, you know. He's definitely going to be the best African American I've done. Even with his issues, it's not going to matter. So I'm just going to pounce this on. Yeah, I can see here where he was having trouble with the paint sticking. And I did make a powder brush almost the exact same color as this blush. So, like I said, if it comes to that, I got what I need. Plus, he's going to be getting shading on his fingers and stuff, like blushing and stuff like that. So, you know, that makes a big difference too. See that? Got a nice... Okay, so I'm going to start using this so I can blend the edges here. So he doesn't have lines. Okay, I'm going to get a liner brush to make sure there's no trapped paint in his creases. I'm sure I'm going to find poly as I work. Yeah. He may need some powder help in some certain areas, but it's alright. Just like his face. Da da da. Oh, that looks beautiful. You guys see that? Yep. But as soon as I get his head done, I'm going to start his rooting. So while I'm still working on his arms and on his hands and feet, I'll I'll still be progressing with him with his hair. And before I've done his hair, I'll have this all done. I never wait around for yeah, I gotta get pounced in there. I never wait around on the limbs when there's rooting involved. I'll just work on them while I'm working. Because my painting session and my rooting session are at different times. There we go. So you can see it's not, it's more red now over here. It's just this area here. It's having trouble. I'll try adding a little bit more and see. What color is this? That's purple. And I'll just use the sponge. Let's see. Yeah, so. Well, if I have to, I'll just add some powders there. No big deal. He could just also have some yellow that came over. So, but in the end, take care of that. All right. So, yes. Oops. Let's do this here. I'm just going to give this a little time to sit before I start working on the next color in his hand. Alright. So we're doing purple on the fingers. So it's that. Just the top of the fingers. We're trying to bring the color closer. It's closer on this hand because the paint's sticking better on this hand. But not like a huge difference between the two. And this hand's a bit tricky too because we got finger over him, finger over thumb, thumb over finger. We want to make this challenging for me, I guess. Okay, I did that one. It looks like I did that one. Oh no, it just doesn't look as purple. Yeah, I was running out of paint. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to use this. Just kind of bounce over that. Yeah, that's coming a lot closer. It's mostly like bringing the purple and reds together. And then the blue works to darken it. And then the burnt umber brings it with this color. I'll definitely be done this hand first. Don't. Another one bites the dust. And I have to use a dry brush because the area is so small. But when I see how far he's come, I mean, wow. We've been on quite the journey together. It's going to be weird when he leaves. It wasn't weird when the other two left because I've been just so focused on, because of his problems. He's been the one that I've been done a lot of research on, and So it's just going to be really strange when he's gone. And then I'll get busy again. Alright, on that blush. So I'm going to put some blush in here. Yeah, this one, I did notice that the inner part of this hand did get a little darker than the other one. It's just because of the way his hand is. Oh, I gotta take that off. I got some red on him there. Okay. I mean, it's gonna happen, so. Oh, wrong brush. Yeah, it's a little tricky. I remember going through this when I did the first pickle too, but, you know, I painted his hand all the same color. So it was a bit different. Dust. Another one bites the dust. This is definitely more challenging. One bites the dust. And he will be one of my special guys because he'll be my only heat set African American for a while because I want to learn the flesh tones. And I just don't have time to do that right now, so. But once I get caught up on some more other work, kits have just, well, ones I screwed up, and and ones that have been in my holding playpen for the longest time. Okay. Just stay in love, stay in love. Okay, I'm gonna let this hand set for a bit. Stay in love. Just gonna add a bit more on this hand because this one got a little darker than the other one. I'm trying to put it down on the finger there. All right. Polyfill. Well, I'd rather deal with polyfill sticking to things than these freaking blisters because they are starting to bother me. That it keeps happening. Like, why does this keep happening? It didn't start happening until I started using the sheets. So, they also said angling, because I also had a towel that was holding their hand up like this. And then I had a sheet around it to keep it from imprinting their skin. And so I think it was caused from the sheet. Because it had trap. Towels are kind of different. They're made differently. So that's probably why the towels are not causing like the trapped air like sheets are. So I don't know how people do it that use those fabric covers for their... I really do want to invest in them, but I'm a little afraid to at the same time because it said that fabrics are known to get trapped air. So even towels can, but I've never had that issue with the towels. So I rather just deal with the polyfill. That's why some artists don't like doing it, because it's just tedious when you have to pull little parts off them. But I'd rather do that than them be getting these blisters or their fingers getting smushed. And ugh, heat set's got way more challenges than air dry. Okay, I need. Oh, his legs are cooling down, so I will. I'll check his legs, but I know they're going to be too hot. But I'll still check him in 3 minutes. This alarm's going to go off in 3 minutes. So for now, we'll cover these up. And I'm going to label this darn one. And don't forget, there's a lot of heat coming from that window too. So, but I am so proud of this guy. I mean, I can't even tell you. The fact that I have his head turned should tell you something. He's just looking too real. Right, buddy? I gotta start working on his face tonight. I wanted to see. Yeah, it is still staying a little. It's the lighter brown that's doing that. All right. Yeah, I can tone that down, darken that later. I just gotta give that sealer time to dry. Ugh. I don't like his head there, you guys. He's looking too real. Babe, I'm staying. I'm staying alone. It's hard to do this tape when I have gloves on. That's why I put to the side and then I forget to label them. Okay. Oh. All right. So I need my marker. Where is it? He's got a big head. He's blocking my stuff. I usually put it in. Sometimes I might put it over here. It's not there. Where is that? That's my Sharpie marker I'm looking for. Is it behind your head, Pickle? Yep. Purple. Gosh. Can feel the whole word in there, but I'll know what it is. In your eyes. I'm still gonna leave these out though, because I'm gonna need it for his toes. Your eyes. Make sure I don't have anything on my hands. Okay. There we go. You guys want to watch Pickle until I come back? All right. I'll be right back. In your eyes. Oh, you guys want to see something cute? It's probably going to be too big for him, but at least it's a hat I can put on him because I don't want to hurt his paint. Because it's so big. Oops. Here we go. Here we go. Look how cute he is. Move this down a bit. Look. Try having him on your tabletop, you guys. Looking like that. He's so adorable. He's a little man. Little man. Looks like he's going on a picnic because of his hat. He's so cute. I just washed that hat, so it's fine to be on him. It's, but it's so cute. Aww. Why are you so cute, Pickle? Why do you have to leave me? All right. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna go check on his legs. I'll be right back. Yawn. Yawn fast. Yeah, they're still a bit warm, and I'm kind of scared to move them. I'm kind of scared I'll move them too early. It's better to just wait. He looks so cute in that hat. Oh, he's a cootie patootie. All right. Sorry, buddy, but I have to take this out. I don't want to get paint on it. Well, not his paint, but other type of paint. Okay. He does have a boyish painting done to him. So he's got that boyish face. I still have other stuff to do to him, but using paint. But, okay. Now, I've had a hard time. Like, I've been staring at the pictures I took yesterday that I posted. I just can't get over the transition. Like, you think I'd be used to it, but no. No, I'm definitely not used to it. That's a big transformation. So to the point when I start turning their heads, then they're looking real. When you start seeing me do that. All right. I mostly do it the bigger babies and the smaller ones. All right, so let's focus on other stuff. For now. Get my pen here. I'll use this pen. So Tink's limbs are in there now. So those are considered done. Oh, Ellie's head. Yeah, so when I take his limbs out, Ellie's head will go in there. She's got primer on her. I'm not starting her, though, until painting her, until the other babies are done or there's nothing for me to work on. Then I go to the next one in line, until there's something for me to do on one of the other ones. Because I don't want me, like, sitting here not painting at all, just waiting around for the other one. So, and now, where are we at? So, eyebrows. We'll just continue with the eyebrows. So, we have, I'm always doing Oakland first. And Oakland will also be my first painted hair. So, I ordered special brushes for that. Yeah, so I need to add a little, some darker. So, let's grab this. I tried to darken that hazelnut a bit, but it's still coming out a bit. Now, to get it. I need these to be a little stronger because, so that's the burnt umber, right? So I need the dark brown to be a tad stronger. So I'm going to add a little bit of paint to probably this one. Let me check that percentage on that one first because it has been sitting. So I'm going to check it first. I need a tiny brush. I'll use this one to mix it because it's such a little amount of paint. Oh, this one doesn't need extra paint. Okay, I'm going to add this over here. So this is the dark brown. It's got like red in it though. It looks like it has red. Well, brown does have red in it, but so these are BC paints. I like that she sells the petite sizes for colors that I don't use like really often. I'm going to add this one in there too, so that I can open these other areas. And get polyfill in there. Okay. All right. So we'll get my okay, this is the one I was using for the lighter color. This one's too long. This is more for creases. That'll be used on pickle for creases. And yeah, this one here. I'm going to order more of these brushes because mine are a year old. And hi, the UK. Hello. Hello, the Thelma Belma. Okay. All right. See if I can angle this camera, but also seeing what I'm doing. Don't you want to be down? All right, so I'm just gonna lightly. Can you guys see what I'm doing? Okay. So make sure I don't. Eyebrows is not my strong suit. I mean, I'm getting better, but it's not my strong suit. Not painting them anyway. I'm better at rooting them. But and he said I'm a little braver. But I think this might be. You gotta remember that this will lighten up when it dries. Because when I did it with my other mix, they just disappeared. Just all disappeared. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing my depth lines. You know, like shadowing. To show the depth. It kind of just makes it stand out a little bit more. It might be a little darker than intended, but this one's not going to be a lot of money anyway, so it'd be a bit cheaper than what I usually charge. Because it'll be my first painted hair, too. But overall, I think it looks pretty good considering. All right. A lot of work putting this kid. Let me just see this area a bit here. Just kind of so they match a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All right. So that one's eyebrows are good. Just let those dry. Yeah. She's going to be done very, very soon, that one. Also, when I put the liquid thin on them, it lightens their eyebrows a little bit. Okay, Tink, here you are. So here's Tink. She still has her mapping on. I'll be taking those off when the color actually stays. So I'm just going to add. She's really little, so it's a little more challenging. So when I do my next ordering, I'm going to get some petite jars of eyebrow colors. But this actual color will actually go well with her hair, actually. I'll be rooting her hair. And this color will actually go nice with it. Okay. He wants to rule the world. Yeah, I like to map out my eyebrows so that they're more in line, more even. There's different types of eyebrows. Some people do like they call caterpillar eyebrows. I'm not a big fan of those ones, actually. Okay, we'll see how these dry, and I might be able to take the mapping off. Because it's a little stronger now. We'll just have to see when it dries, because it dries lighter. Other than that, her head will be done when I'm done the eyebrows. I'm just trying to get the eyebrows done. We'll see what happens when she dries. If I can still see them. Alright, darling. There we go. So this one I'm going to put here. And then I'll put a wedge over here. And those other ones I'm going to clean later on. I don't want to mess up my gloves right now. Alright. So, oh, I guess I didn't need to add more paint then, right? So just use what was... See, these are petite sizes. And I barely have had to use any of it. These go far. These BC paints. Yeah, they go far like the Genesis. Genesis goes a little further, but these go pretty far. I'm really happy with them. And that's my first time using her paints. I labeled... where is it? So this has her BC thinning fluid. So you have to use these with her paints because it takes away the particles in the paint, the little particles. Because if I go and use my Exodus thinning fluid first, it'll make it more clumpy. So that's why you just add a little bit of this, very little. So depending on the amount you're making. But yeah, I only use a few drops of it and it seems to be enough. And I'll just keep checking it, make sure all the grains are out before I use it. And then once I see that the grains are out, then I add my Exodus thinner for the transparency of the paint. This is just to break down the particles. Okay. All right. But overall, quite happy with how everyone's going. All right, so the next step is going to be modeling for both Primrose, not Primrose, Lulu, and actually no, hers is veins increasing next. The modeling is for Lulu. So why don't I do that? Do the modeling on Lulu. I'm getting less than today. That's good. All right, so these are my heat set sponges. That's my purple one. I can tell by looking at it. All right. So I do have notes that I need to, where is it? I saw it sitting. There it is. That, oops, changed my mode. That I need to thin, what's in here? Mock colors, too light, red and purple. I wrote that down so I wouldn't forget the next time I did modeling. So I'm going to take care of that now. I made a new model color when I was doing African American. It should be in the red section, wouldn't it? Red Mott. Right here. That's purple to start creases, burnt umber, ground wash. Because last time this was too light for modeling. I'm just wondering if that's the same color I did for African American, because that's a blush color. I don't see, other than I only see red texture. I don't see any other paints around here. All right. I'll be able to tell by the thinness when I mix it where I'm at with this. Oh, that's not thin. But we'll have to see. We'll just mix it more. It is a darker red. So I could have already changed it and just didn't cross it off. So yeah, because that is strong for modeling. Yeah, it's not running clear. All right, let's try it and see how I'll start on the back of her head and then go from there. So I'm just going to use one of these brushes. I should just use this to mix it since I was going to use it on here. So I add a little extra the first round because it's going to be dry and it's going to soak it up. All right, this is Lulu. That's Lulu. So I'm going to add, last time I painted her, I did it in air dry. But I was using eyeshadow then, and it peeled off of her. So yeah, it's just stronger in the back from when I started it. Kind of hard to hold her head. Sometimes I don't know if this will work with her because her head's a bit heavier, but sometimes I'll do this. It's kind of like stick a brush. Let's see if I. Sometimes I can get it through, and sometimes I can't. Open the head enough to just to kind of help me balance it, but I'm having a really. No, that's. Oh, let's throw a bit. I'll just do that. There we go. Aha! Okay, I do need some more on here. Even when I blot it, it still goes on strong. See, like I'll blot it. See, it still goes on strong. Some people model the cheeks, some don't. I can't fit the sponge under here very well. I'll have to paint that later. No, I'll have to paint that. I like to get modeling up in there if I can. All right, so I'm just gonna get this brush here. Just gonna put some in here. Get a pouncy wedge here. Get in there. I think it looks okay under there. Maybe just add a little couple pouncies there. That's right, I said pouncies. I'll do her lips too. Get in there. Trying to use this in her T-zone when it's not too strong. Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna pounce in this area. Her chin. Lips. Nose. So usually this part we don't have the modeling up here. Like I said, some people do the cheeks and some won't. Really is a personal choice. Alright, I'm gonna... Is that her? Yeah, that's the... Just want to make sure it's not too strong for around the ears. Yeah, that's pretty good. And the actual ears. I'm having trouble holding on to it. It's off the fire. Alright. And I'll blend it out with the sponge. Her ears were pierced before, so you'll see like a little hole there. But it doesn't matter because the earring will cover it up when I put it back in. Alright, I need a dry brush for the inside of the ears. Alright, now I'm going to get this side here. Oh, looks like I missed a couple areas back here. I'm not going to have enough paint here. Hang on, guys. I finally hung up. Why? I'm almost done. What are you doing?
I have the water to stop.
Okay. That is her modeling. One of her modelings, anyway.
Doing the lens?
I had to redo her modeling because the colors were too light before. Because when this paint dries, it goes lighter. So, but with I'm so used to air dry, it would go darker, not lighter. Okay, guys, so I'm done.
Did you do her head?
For now. I'll be back on this. Well, not on here. I'll be on TikTok tonight to continue my work on what I'm doing. The stuff I got, Pickle's sealer on his face should be dry by then. So I can just fix those areas here. And then I'm going to add some shading to them and stuff like that too. And blushing and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, but I got the modeling done on her. Pickle's all baked now. His arms and legs. So, oh, I did some work on his fingers too today and his inside of his hand. I got that done, and I worked on the eyebrows on Oakland and Tink. So I got a lot of stuff done today. Proud of that. So for those of you that follow on TikTok, I'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Ta for now.